Greetings and welcome to day number 5. Day number 5 in our 30-day marathon journey into discussing 30 important questions singles must ask while dating or courting. Welcome and welcome again. And we would stay in music for a few moments while waiting to start the program. Please, when you join, try to share the link and get as many as possible connected. Let's wait in music, and we are listening to Confidence by Mercy Chinwo. Please stay with me. I'll be right back. To Jesus, you are everything. Thank you so much for connecting to this live broadcast this morning. Do me a favor to share the link. Let your connections and contacts know that your friend is live. I'll be coming your way this morning with our 5th edition of in our 30-day marathon journey in discussing 30 important questions singles must ask while dating or courting. Please stay with me and enjoy Savo, this great song by Mercy Chinwo. He's in you, he's in you. I'm you, he's in you. I'm not alone, you're with me. I need you in majority. To Jesus, Thank you for staying with me on day 5 of our marathon, 30-day marathon journey into discussing 30 important questions single must ask while dating or courting. And today we are moving straight into question number 5. Question number 5 that is very important that you need to ask someone you are dating or courting is, how do you prioritize work-life balance in a relationship? How do you prioritize work-life balance in a relationship? Thank you, Mommy Otto, for connecting again this morning. So warm to have you always. So I said the fifth question we have to ask if you are dating someone or courting someone is you need to know how they prioritize work-life balance in a relationship. You know, we have different perspective that we look at work-life balance. And you don't get into any relationship assuming that they have the same priorities that you have. That they look at family life, private time, work time, the same way you look at it. So you need to be very intentional, and you need to ask whoever you are courting or dating what they are thinking. Because our ambitions are different. Our career ambitions are different. And you want to be sure, number one, that you have aligned priorities. Are your priorities the same? There are people who are workaholics. And whenever they have a job, they forget about every other thing, any other thing. They forget about their home. They forget about their children. They forget about their family. And all they are thinking is money, money, money. Work, work, work. And you might be that kind of person that likes, quality time in the family. You like a situation where partners will spend more time or quality time with their family, with their children, with their spouses. And you would want to be sure that the same priorities you have when it comes to work-life balance is the same priority they have. It is unfortunate that in this generation, because of the changes we are undergoing, the cost of living, and because of competition in amassing wealth, in getting money, in getting materials, in getting, amassing properties, we have lost that family culture that used to exist in time past, where couples would prioritize their family over work, over ministry, over money, and they would tend to spend more quality time with their spouses, and they will pay attention to the upbringing of their children. We are in a generation where people are chasing money from pillar to pole, from one country to the other, from one conference to the other, from one crusade. Some are chasing ministry, from one crusade to the other, and they don't take time or give time, quality time, to spend with family, to spend with spouse, to spend with children. And our children are being raised by the social media. Our children are being raised by their peers, because since the connection between children and parents have greatly reduced, we have now delivered them intentionally, whether consciously or not, to be raised by peers, by social media, and by what is trending in the world today. And you want to be very sure, if this person you are dating, you are courting, and maybe thinking to settle down with, is having the same priorities when it comes to work and life balance. Otherwise, this is going to lead into a lot of conflict in your relationship. It's going to lead to a lot of clashes in your relationship, because what you are thinking is what you're supposed to do or kind of have as a work-life balance may not be what the other person is thinking. So it is important to ask that question. How do you prioritize work-life balance in a relationship? The next reason why it's very important is because when you now understand that you may not have the same work-life balance priorities, that sets a good foundation for communication and setting or adjusting expectations if you must continue with that relationship. You would want to have an open communication with that person to allow both of you to express your expectations and also to see how you can get into making a mix, if it is possible, to come to a place of compromise, making commitments, and trying to see that somebody or each of you are able to adjust to what will be a model or what will be an acceptable model for that relationship. There are people who are having, a lot of desire to build a home where both parents are around and where they together take part in the upbringing of their children. And it would not be to them an ideal situation where maybe only one parent is present and the other one is always moving from country to country, from program to program, from job to job, and not having time to take care or to participate or to contribute in the running of the home. So it gives room for serious and open communication. Once you talk with the other person and you realize that you may not be thinking the same thing or having the same priorities, this is going to help you to be able to have a conversation. And it equally helps you to, see if there are areas you need to adapt, if there are areas you need to compromise in order to have a situation that works for both people or both persons. You don't just get into a relationship assuming that because this person is coming from a good family where the mother and the father are homekeepers, and you feel that that person coming from that home will equally have the same priority in life. People are different. Now, I've seen a situation where somebody marries in a family because that person sees the father and the mother of that lady as very good people. And he sees the way they run their homes, and then he assumes that the wife-to-be will have the same qualities like the mother, and together they will be able to raise their children, run their home, contribute in their home, and see that they build a home that will be comfortable and blissful for both of them. And he got disappointed because he never asked the right questions when they were dating. He never asked to know how they will prioritize work and life balance. How are they going to create a balance between these two? In as much as we need to work, we also need to be able to live. And we also need to take care of our family. We need to pay attention at home. We need to give quality time or spend quality time with our spouses, with our children, so as to create that harmonious atmosphere where everyone will thrive and live a happy life. It's also very important to have this discussion, because some people, or when you have this discussion, you're going to understand the rules each person is going to play in that home or in that relationship to see that it works well. Now, with the patriarchal mentality, especially I'm an African, and with the patriarchal mentality, they believe that it is the man who goes out to work and he brings back the money, he brings back everything the family, or he supplies the needs of the family, and the woman is a homekeeper who has to spend most of her time with the at home with the children, doing house chores and cooking and the likes. That is the patriarchal African masculinity. But things are changing. Things are evolving. Of course, some of the changes are good, but of course, some of them I don't really think they are good. What is good is We now have more men who are involved, you know, in house chores, in upbringing of the children, in, you know, making in the day-to-day running of the home. And you might come from a home where these things happen. And you just feel and assume that the man you meet is going to have this kind of upbringing or this kind of philosophy. And in as much as he has to work, he will also pay attention at home and be sure that he spends quality time with you and the children when the children come. But assuming will not be a good thing. You need to ask that question. How do they prioritize this balance? Is there something that you need to know from them that can help you adjust? Is there something you need to know from them that you need to help them adjust if this relationship has to work? Because it's not just about rushing into it with excitement and all the euphoria it comes with. It's about having a working relationship, a relationship where each person contributes and give up something and be able to make it work, not just for themselves, but for the other partner. So you would want to know what place they have for work, what place they have for their life. There are people who don't have time for fun. They don't have time for fun. They don't have time for relaxation. All they do is work, 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 work. They are busy all the time. And they don't give attention to their spouses. And even if you're already in a relationship, you are dating, and you can be able to see some of these signs. You can be able to see some of these signs. When you text this person, or when you text this person, do they easily reply you? When you try to call them and they didn't pick, later on, do they try to call you back? You can also start to see signals, things that might give you, you know, a pre-information of what you might be expecting in that relationship. There are people that when it comes to their job, they have no time for any other thing. And it doesn't matter what you're going through. It doesn't matter what is happening at home. When you call them, they will always tell you to wait. Let them finish what they are doing before they can be able to talk with you. And it is something you need to consider before you push any relationship to any reasonable level. How do they balance their work life? And how do they, their work and their life? How do they manage work, relationship, and family? Are they able to create time? Are they able to manage these three or more very well in a way that when it is time that they have to give you attention and time, they have to pay you attention or pay attention, they will be there for you, or they will always be running, looking for money, running, going for work, or going to their workplace, and they don't have any time for you. You don't want to get into a relationship where you'll be neglected. You don't want to get into a relationship where you get is money and materials, and you don't have the emotional support that you need. Having money is good. Having a good job is good. But when you have all of these things and you don't spend quality time with your spouse, with your children, at the end of the day, there's not going to be happiness in your relationship. In as much as you bring in the money and all the supplies, buy the cars on birthdays and all of that, that doesn't substitute for your presence. That doesn't substitute for the emotional support that your partner needs. That doesn't substitute for the attention, just the listening ear that you have to give to your partner. In as much as those things are good for the relationship, but they are not enough. When you bring in the money, when you buy the cars, also give your time, care, show attention, show emotional support, be empathetical to the person you are relating with. Give them quality time. And I think to most people, quality time is better than much money or much gift. So you want to know how they balance their work and lifetime and life, and also how they manage other relationships. We're going to discuss more on this as we progress in this discussion. But you need to understand that in February and March, we are beginning our first batch training for singles, and you don't want to miss this. If you are single and you want to go through this training with us, it's a 2-month training, it's paid training. You would want to click to the link I'm going to attach here, or get to me on WhatsApp so we can talk. You can click to the link and register for this training. Till I come your way again tomorrow, have a blessed day. Shalom.